Hey, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Up Your Alley. It's a podcast with two best friends. That's me. My name's Taylor Edgar, and with me, as always, is my best friend, Jake Baggett. Say hi, Jake.
Hey, buddy.
We recommend things to each other to watch, read, listen to, read again.
And then listen to.
Yeah. Reread, rewatch. You can do anything you want. And then we come back the next week and talk about them, giving each other a score between 1 and 3. Right now, I have 52 points. Jake has 51 points.
Yes, sir.
And we are going to be talking today about the newest stand-up comedy special from John Mulaney called Baby J. And we are also going to be talking about the podcast Dr. Gameshow.
Yeah.
But before we get into that, we're going to catch up a little bit. How you been, Jake?
Oh, it's been well.
Yeah?
No complaints. Yeah.
That's good.
I had to move.
Yeah. You were talking about that last time. Everything's good to go
but
now?
We're all in, and
Nice.
everything's good.
Nice.
It's a nice place.
I've been playing Star Wars.
Oh, you decided to play
Jedi Survivor.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm hearing great things.
It's great. I mean, I will say this. Games that are multi-platform like that, because that came out PlayStation, Xbox, PC, like same day.
Yeah.
They're a little glitchier than I remember getting God of War Ragnarok Day 1, and that's made just for PlayStation.
Yeah.
And it's flawless.
Yeah.
And I came home from work yesterday wanting to play more Jedi Survivor, and there was like a 1.5 gig update. And I'm like, oh, they're fixing some problems.
Yeah.
I mean,
Day one patches.
nothing game breaking. Just little things like, especially with the headphones on, you notice that sound cues are going off incorrectly, like from location based sound cues. Like you've got a little droid, and you never played the first one, did you?
Yeah, I played it. I
Okay,
beat it.
so your little helper guy, BD1,
Yeah.
who rapidly he's becoming my second favorite Star Wars droid of all time.
I agree.
Yeah,
What a wonderful little guy.
I saw they had one of those Lego for adult sets of BD1.
Yeah.
And it was like $200, and there's part of me that really wanted to get it.
$200.
But like, when he sees something and he wants you to go look at it, like a hidden whatever or a piece of lore.
It just jumps off.
Yeah, and he makes little clicking
Carts to
noises.
it.
And sometimes he'd like click off and then run away, and you're like, where are you going? Like, I'm trying to find the little force echo that I have to listen to, but I don't know where I'm going with you.
Oh.
But combat's
okay.
great. Overhauled the combat. So that, I mean, it's still the same pairing and timing, but it's less like, the first one, it was kind of like Ghost of Tsushima, where it's like every enemy had a stance that was best for that enemy.
Sure, like you switch between double-sided and single lightsaber.
Yeah, if you have a bunch of guys, you go for double-sided. If it's one big dude, and then you had the double lightsabers for like fighting monsters or whatever. This has 5 different stances, and from what I can see, you kind of pick the one you like most and work with it, because you can only do 2 at a time.
Okay, good. Because
it's just
if I had to switch through 5, that would
it's
be
just
a lot.
it's different ways that your lightsaber connect. It's not a spoiler. You have the single lightsaber, double lightsaber, double blade, and then you have lightsaber with a gun. Which that's been the dream for years. It's like, why don't you have a lightsaber and a gun?
That's in Yakuza Ishin.
Yeah,
it's called the Wild Dancer stance.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
but then they have my favorite addition out of all of them, which fits in more to my play style, because you can it's like more like a Skyrim, where it's like if you want to be arrow guy, you can be an arrow guy and shoot people from distance. If you want to get in close with one sword and have like a lot of defense, we can do that too. But they have the crossguard attachment that's like what Kylo Ren had, where it sticks out on the sides.
Yeah,
except it's longer, and it's like using a great sword or a claymore or something like that. So it's like a
like
two-handed, two-handed long lightsaber. And I'm like, that's my shit right there.
Oh,
but it's fun. I think I'm rushing through it right now because I want to make sure I beat it before next Friday when Tears of the Kingdom comes out.
Yeah,
which we were talking
that's
about
all
this.
I'm doing.
Yeah, we were talking about this off
game.
The whole game leaked.
Yeah, you told me about that.
Yeah.
I didn't know
playing it. It's out there.
I can't believe that.
I
have my fingers on the pulse of the gaming community, and I haven't seen anything about this.
Just popped up on my Reddit.
That is crazy.
Yeah. Well, are you a leak guy? Like, if there's leaked shit, like if you could play Tears of the Kingdom right now, but you have to like go to some weird Pirate Bay type website and download it and play it on your computer, would you play it, or would you?
Nah, probably not.
I mean, that's not a hypothetical. You could go do that right now. People are doing it.
Yeah, probably not, because there's a lot more work involved in it. I haven't torrented anything in a very long time.
Yeah.
And
I don't know how emulators for a Switch
have to
work.
get an emulator. It's so easy to set up a Switch emulator, though. Out of all the next-gen consoles, I could easily set up
it's a micro
Switch one.
SD card. It's pretty easy to set up.
I could get it.
There's a bug in here.
Yeah, I saw that. It came right from my eye.
That's going to be the whole thing, this podcast.
For you, I can ignore the hell out of it.
If there's a loud smack, just know that while we're sorry that your ears hurt,
Something happened.
the
to
bug
a
is dead, and that was worth it. So yeah, I'm the same way. I don't like leaks. I try not to read any spoilers.
Yeah.
I feel like some people go overboard with spoiler warnings. Like,
if it's breaking for me, I don't really care that much. But yeah, I'd rather not see anything. Like, I don't even want to watch the trailer for Dune that just came out.
I was just going to have to talk to that
because I'm already going to watch the movie. I don't need to be sold on it.
And also, I feel like Dune is one of those things where it's hard to spoil Dune because the book's been out. It's been spoiled.
Yeah.
That's something that
Everybody
if you
knows
ever
what the
really
book-
cared about the story of Dune, it's fine. It's not a new thing that no one outside of the people that worked on it, fucking have any contact with.
Yeah.
Like, unless you worked on Tears of the Kingdom or stole it, I guess, you don't know what it looks like. You don't know how it plays. You don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I've never liked leakers. I don't see the whole point in it.
It's something. Sometimes if something leaks, like the Duke Nukem Forever, 2000 and whatever pre-build of the game, the one that they showcased first time for a trailer that looked awesome, that leaked, and there's no way else to get that. And it's not the full game, but it allowed people to actually, mess around and see what that game was going to be like way back in the day, before they changed a whole bunch of shit on it. Yeah. And stuff like that I think is great. And also for game preservation's sake, I think things should be pirated because...
You're talking afterwards, after the fact, after they've been...
Immediately if you want to, but like as soon as you can preserve it, I'm fine with people preserving it as soon as possible.
Kind of like what we were talking about a while ago with the Nintendo 3DS store going out.
Yes.
People just downloading every copy of every game that you could get.
I think that's a perfectly valid idea.
Yeah. It's more so the mindset. Like if you came up to me and said, I found a way to break in a Nintendo and get a copy of a game a week early.
Yeah.
So we just saved ourselves $60.
Yeah.
And we get the game a week early. It's like, that seems like a lot of work for a crime that you have to expose the crime.
Yeah.
It's because it's not like
Nintendo follows up on that stuff, too.
They're litigious as shit. Like a couple streamers that I follow that did like Mario Maker.
Yeah.
And one of the things they would do is people would find glitches in Mario Maker and make like a crazy level. Like the level's not supposed to work like that.
Yeah.
As soon as you upload a level that's glitchy, Nintendo shuts your shit down. They're like, no one's messing around with our IP unless we specifically say this is how you're allowed to play with our toys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
wild.
wild.
I don't see the point in the crime. I'm sure there are people out there that probably get a game early and they just play it themselves on their computer and it's their just little thing. But it's the internet. It's going to get back to you. The people that want to prosecute you. You're the guy that leaked the game for what?
I mean, I'm sure people understand how to hide their identity online, virtual proxy networks and things like that. I'm not confident enough that I could cover all my tracks.
Nor would you want to. It's worth it. These people have given us hundreds and hundreds of hours of entertainment. And they're like, can you just wait a week and we'll let you buy it then.
I'll give them some money.
Yeah, absolutely.
This game. I'm really excited for this game.
Yeah. And so, I'm rushing through Jedi Survivor just because of that.
Yeah, I can see. Yeah. That's why I didn't play it. I'm sure that game's going to go on sale.
Oh, yeah. See, that's the other thing about Nintendo. Their shit never goes on sale.
Doesn't. So, buy it.
I'm pretty
first
sure
day or not. It's the same thing.
Breath of the Wild is still $60, I think, if you want a new copy of it.
Right.
Yeah, and I'm going your route, too. I already pre-ordered the physical copy of it because I got to have that.
See?
Yeah. So let's get into what we're talking about today. First thing that we're going to talk about is my recommendation for Jake, since I feel like last month being all Affleck April, I went last a couple times in a row.
Okay.
I felt bad about it because we could close on your stuff. We can open with my silly nonsense.
Sure. Yeah. Let's do it.
What we're talking about first is the special that came out last Tuesday, end of April, from stand-up comedian John Mulaney, available on Netflix. It's called Baby J.
Yeah.
So I recommended this to Jake, like I told you last week. This falls into the perfect category of things that you say you want to see and never get around to seeing. You're like, oh, yeah, I'll check that out.
Yeah.
And then, kind of the whole point of this podcast.
Yeah, and it's something that, I do love John Mulaney.
Yeah.
But I
so
also
you've seen all
didn't
of his
know
specials.
how I feel about what the stand-up would be. I haven't seen the one before this one.
Yeah. Oh, so that was actually, I have got that framed record upstairs. That was Kid Gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I watched 15 minutes of it, and I really enjoyed it.
But see,
I should finish
this
it
is why
off.
I'm getting you to sit down and watch things. So
working.
John Mulaney doesn't really need any introduction. I don't think anyone that listens to
He's
a
a
podcast.
stand-up comedian.
Yeah.
Who's
But I'm just saying,
fantastic.
for the listener, I don't think anyone that listens to a podcast doesn't know who John Mulaney is.
I don't know.
That's a small outside circles on a Venn
That's
diagram.
also a point that he brings up in the stand-up special itself.
Exactly. But so he had a bit of a year, bit of a couple years.
Yeah.
He relapsed into drugs, got divorced, went to rehab, and now he put this out. So I wanted to talk to you about this, just kind of like how you did with me last week's episode, where you want to like kind of make a counterpoint with a recommendation.
Yeah, right?
So I want to do that with you because you did not like Chris Rock's stand-up special where he
Even
had
though you
like
didn't suggest that to me.
No,
I did watch it.
that was just
Yeah.
we talked about it. But since Chris Rock had a very public thing, getting slapped in the face at the Oscars,
Yeah.
and then his next stand-up special, everyone's like, how's he gonna deal with this?
Yeah.
John Mulaney had the same thing. He publicly went to rehab, got divorced. Now he's together with Olivia Munn, and they have a kid together. And you know, he's a public figure. Everyone knows his ins and outs, and especially I think in this climate when you find out a celebrity, especially someone so clean cut and
Yeah, who doesn't look like a drug addict.
right. I mean, he's on Big Mouth, or does a voice on Big Mouth, which is a big show, and that's about kids. And then he had a special on Netflix, John Mulaney and the Sack Lunch Bunch, which was he was having like a kids show. It's tabloid fever. It's like, oh, that guy's got a drug problem. Like if they had videos of Mr. Rogers doing coke, it would be everywhere.
Yeah. I see what you mean. Yeah.
So he had to talk about it, and I think, what did you think? How did you find it?
Well, first, I loved it. It was fantastic. It was just like John Mulaney that I enjoy. Even at the beginning, he sang a song about... He gave a whole song and dance where he said, like, the energy around me is very different now. I was like, it is. Like, I went in there being like, I don't know what he's going to be like.
Yeah.
But he's, like, the exact same guy. And, like, where Chris Rock, it felt like he used this publicity from the slap to start another stand-up routine. John Mulaney was just like, I think I have to do a stand-up routine to explain to people what's going on.
Yeah, you're not going to get past it. It's like
Yeah.
if the president fucks up, eventually you're going to have to give an address to the nation.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things. The beauty of that is he's a comedian, so he can make his address to the nation funny.
And he's also like a storyteller comedian.
Yes.
So he's just brilliant at getting you so engaged in what he's talking about. And even though there's like such tragic things that he talks about in his life, he makes it so funny. Where like he talks about going to his intervention and he gets there and Seth Meyers is there and he just goes, no.
One of the best stories ever, I think, because that's
He's like, have you ever seen Fred Armisen be serious before?
and I think that's the lurid details of a celebrity intervention. Like he does that perfectly. Like he sets up this crazy thing that happened to him, and also as opposed to Rock, which is one of the things that you brought up about Rock special, is he saved that until the end. Like he made allusion to it. Was kind of like he was teasing you the whole time. He's like, I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to talk.
Just like all
keep watching. I'm going to talk about it.
Just like all the paid infomercials I used to watch as a kid.
Yeah.
You're just waiting.
Exactly.
I made this point last time.
But I think one cool thing that he did, just away from the material for a second, talking about the special as a technical thing. It was filmed at the Boston Symphony Hall, I think.
Yeah.
Or Boston Orchestra Hall, one of those things. Gorgeous theater.
Yeah.
And
incredibly
he
gorgeous.
kind of has a cold open to it. Like he does, I think it's like 8 minutes where he just is on stage. It's no, God mic saying, ladies and gentlemen, John Mulaney.
It's just him starting with the camera right in front of him.
Right. And he does like eight or so minutes, I think, and then it cuts to the credits.
Yeah.
The opening credits with the music by David
Byrne.
David Byrne did all the music for it.
Because I had watched things with caps lock. With the caps lock, with closed captioning on it, and caps lock, so I can
because you want the reading to be screaming at you,
and it just says "man scatting" for it.
That's just every Talking Head song. It's man scouting and then vocal nonsense.
I was like, this scatting sounds so familiar. And it says music by David Byrne. I was like, oh, okay, everything makes sense.
So
now.
he kind of did like a little theme. And what's funny is the last comedian that I saw do that had like a theme song written was Seth Meyers, who's features in this special as well.
Yeah.
He did a special on Netflix a couple years ago called Lobby Baby because his baby was born in the lobby of his building. and he had Craig Finn from the Hold Steady write the opening song called "Meet Me in the Lobby," and so it had that at the beginning.
Oh, okay.
Had someone write like a thing, which is kind of cool. Like musicians and comedians, they get along pretty well.
Yeah. If there's a thing where like every musician wants to be a comedian,
every comedian wants to be a rock star.
Yeah,
yeah. Mm. So it's kind of nice that you find music that relates to your comedy and you could bring it in.
Yeah.
So just that technically
gives a good vibe to what you're going to be performing in front of it.
This I watched once and I listened to it twice afterwards, and just because it's just a great special.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And 3 points.
Oh, it's a 3?
Yeah, absolutely a 3.
It was more, I knew it would be a 3. I just wanted to talk about it.
Yeah.
I wanted someone else that appreciates comedy. Because that's kind of a...
No, this works. This is exactly because I wouldn't have watched it, like you said. So this is perfect.
And it's kind of a sly thing because you have said that you don't watch a lot of stand-up. You definitely don't watch it as much as I do.
Yes, that's true.
Like,
you kept in it where I dropped out. And it's not that, I was like, screw stand-up now. It's all about woke cancel culture. It's not. Like, there's still fantastic comedians out there that do a great job. It's just, I just kind of fallen out. And John Mulaney is a great example of somebody who's still, like, fantastic at making stand-up.
Yeah, he posts, I'm so freaking bummed. One of the, we didn't talk about this. The Writers Guild is on strike. Which, I'm not a member of that guild, but...
I stand united with anybody who's asking more money from rich people.
And if you have the ability to collectively bargain, absolutely, go for it. Especially, I feel like that union's pretty strong because you can't. Your product will greatly suffer, like all industries will, if you just go and hire someone outside of the guild.
Somebody at some station is going to use ChatGPT for a show,
AI episode,
and we get to watch it. It's going to happen.
Like South Park did it.
I know Trey Parker did an episode, but you like
ChatGPT.
I haven't seen it, but
it's hilarious because it's like badly written at first, and then you catch on to that's what they're doing. You're like, oh, genius. But with the Writers Guild, John Mulaney was supposed to have like one of those sit-down meetings that they have at a pretty place in New York, and they film it, and it's for some charity or foundation or nonsense. But it was going to be him talking to Jon Stewart. And he posted on Twitter that he had to cancel his talk with Jon Stewart. And I'm like, oh, God damn it.
Yeah.
Like, good for you for having, your morals and stuff because you weren't going there as a writer.
But you're coming back, buddy. We missed you.
He's in a guild. I saw some stupid statistic. I forget. It was on Nerdist News. They were talking about it. And it's something like if 2 of the top executives in Hollywood reduced their own personal salary to $63 million, not by $63 million, if they reduced their salary to $63 million, 2 guys, it would pay for what the writers are asking for.
Yeah. That's what Adam Conover made the point on CNN.
Yeah.
Being like the person that owns CNN made $250 million last year. And he's like, that pays for 10,000 of the writers.
Right.
What they want. And it's like,
yeah.
Okay.
It's just, don't get me wrong. I'm a fan of capitalism, but even this, I'm like, Jesus Christ,
capitalism,
man. It's so absurd that people
the checks and balances are out of control.
Absolutely.
It's the fucking problem. It's something that you told me a long time ago, which is like everything sounds good on paper. Every type of government sounds good. And I agree with you on that, but it's always shit like this that happens.
Oh, yeah. And trust me, that statistic that people are talking about where it's not... I don't think what they're asking for is egregious. And I understand that being a writer is one of those things where, for some reason, it has this mentality. And I was reading shit on Twitter, which is a terrible idea. But people saying that, well, they're working Hollywood. I'm sure they're doing fine. It's like, not always.
No.
Like, I know people that were doing comedy, and it's like, they have to do... people that were up in D.C. or people out in L.A. working. And it's like, oh, you're a comedian. You must be like Jerry Seinfeld rich and have a floor full of Porsches. It's like, no, he works fucking at Caribou Coffee sometimes. And then, he has to do his other job and he's in school.
Yeah. People that mean something to us that we know still work day jobs.
Exactly.
And we think they travel for comedy.
Friggin' Sal Vulcano, who's on the Impractical Jokers and stuff like that, he tells a story that he was still working in a bar on season 3 of that show.
Yeah, right?
It's like you've been on TV for 3 years and you still do that.
Yeah, and that's one of the most popular shows.
I think what really sticks in my craw the most about this, because if, let's say, investment bankers were going on strike because they didn't make enough money, everyone would be like, fuck you guys.
The world would be fine for forever.
I think it's real, and it's really good and easy and quick to empathize with people that are hard workers, service industry. We're both been in the service industry for years. You see people like that, like people at Starbucks that want to get paid more. I'm like, good.
Yeah.
Like,
you want to unionize it.
If it makes your life better and I pay $1 more for my coffee, I'm completely fine with that. Then with super creative people just getting crushed by people that are uncreative. Because, I mean, I guess they're creative in business, but they can't. It's something where it's very obvious. Like, you could say that the managers, in theory, could go to Starbucks and work the beans.
Yeah.
Because they've been cross-trained. You know how corporate shit works. You're trained from top to bottom when you're in a management role.
Yeah.
So technically, they could run a Starbucks with just management. There's no fucking way a Hollywood studio could run a whole studio without the creatives, the actors, the directors, everything like that. There's no way to be trained for that position. So I think it's just dumb that people are arguing about it.
Yeah.
Like, how is this even a question? If they want more money, you're making money.
Yeah. And we're not affected by it, other than we're not getting
Seth Meyers.
Yeah,
that's the bummer.
Our entertainment.
Yeah, and then I feel
good
bad
on Seth Meyers for saying that he's going to continue supporting his writing staff during the strike.
Such a good dude.
Jimmy Fallon, his crew being like, "You guys will be out of insurance at the end of the month." It's like throw up their shoulders and they're like, "Okay, meeting over." Jeez. And this was to the people that were still non-union working for them.
That's absurd.
It's so funny.
I'm glad Seth Meyers is a good guy.
I know, right?
He's on my list of if that person, a big scandal came out, I'd be very, very sad.
I know,
about it.
right?
Yeah.
He's one of those guys who's like, if Seth Meyers said something great, it's like, he's probably right.
Yeah. But back to John Mulaney. We got distracted by talking about...
Because he's a writer.
He is a writer. And...
Yeah. And it shows in his work.
Yes. And so performance-wise, I think this was... What's weird about Mulaney is he's incredibly measured. Like, there's very things that seem natural. Because I saw him on his Kid Gorgeous tour. I saw that live. And then I saw it filmed. And it's the same pacing. Like, he does... If something happens in the audience, obviously, then he can adjust to it.
He had that 8-year-old kid in
But as far as, like... Oh, yeah, that
audience.
was hilarious.
Yeah.
There's an 11-year-old at the top of the...
11-year-old.
But... Mulaney's pacing and everything, it's very planned out.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Motions, gestures.
His blocking.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Which is one way to do comedy. I'm not saying that's the best way to do it. There are people that sit in a stool all day, and that's hilarious.
And it's a performance, like you said.
For
and
sure.
Like, just like we were in plays, and what helps us remember lines and things like that is blocking.
Yeah.
Knowing where you're going to stand, and when you stand here, this is what you say.
Yeah.
And when you're saying this is you dance like this. And like, everything just pops into your head while you're doing that stuff.
The really cool thing I think about it is in very little audience reaction shots, which I always find distracting in comedy specials.
I don't care.
It's one of those things that, like, that's how it used to be shot, but it just doesn't feel natural anymore. There's some really good-looking stand-up specials nowadays. Yeah. Like, this one was really good-looking. Bill Burr did one at Red Rocks, which was
I like
really...
the one that was in black and white with Bill Burr.
Oh, Paper Tiger. That was down at in Atlanta at the theater whose name I fucking forget, but it's a Tabernacle.
It looked great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so some of that's really...
And having the camera, like, on stage, having the cameraman, like, walk around Mulaney while he's playing.
Yeah.
Good on Mulaney for, like, not being distracted by a camera right in his face while he's performing. And
it's got to be weird, too.
Looking so natural, editing in with the performance that didn't have a camera that was right in his face, you know, seamless.
Were you with me when we saw Dave Attell record his special?
No.
So it's the only live taping, like, well, I mean, I've been to tapings where someone just has, like, a phone set up in the back of the, stage.
Our taping.
Like but I saw Dave Attell, he recorded his special Captain Miserable at the Lincoln Theater. Yeah, Lincoln Theater in D.C.
Wow.
So, and it was distracting for me as an audience member because I guess cameras are better now, I'm sure, but they had those big giant boom or, you know, the cranes that kind of come in for like big sweeping audience shots because that's what they were going for. It was distracting me the whole performance. So, and I'm just sitting there trying to listen to jokes and I'm distracted, let alone trying to remember jokes and deliver jokes while all that shit's going around. It's a whole nother animal making this. It's like how some bands are great live bands, but they, you know, their albums suck.
It doesn't transfer to a studio. Yeah.
There are comics that are like that too. Their specials aren't great, but if you see them live, holy fuck, they'll crush.
I can see what you mean. Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. I thought this was
a performance.
I thought this was a great special.
It was wonderful.
Really, I mean, I'm keeping a running list of my favorite specials that have come out this year because I kind of want to look back because there's so much comedy now.
Yeah.
And I feel like I don't watch enough of it.
Oh, yeah? Okay,
Yeah.
so you're going to keep a list? I think that's a good idea.
I want to find a comic before other people. That's kind of my secret goal this year. Is like I want to find someone like on YouTube or something like that. I'm like, this guy's gonna be fucking. He's gonna be crazy cool.
Be his agent.
No, not that. But you know what I mean. Like I want to be the guy that's like, oh, I told.
You're still into this comedy scene. You can see the.
Exactly.
The
you know,
diamonds in the rough.
like the old guy at the punk club, being like, these kids got chops.
Yeah,
just smoking a cigarette outside. Be like, what do you guys got it? Stick with it, kid.
I say
it's just me being a
stand-up
shitty YouTube comment
and just have like a nice journal.
Yeah?
Of all the stand-up that you see, and write down all the stuff that you enjoyed or didn't enjoy about it.
It's a good idea.
You know,
but that's one of the other things is I'm easy to please with stand-up. Like I can appreciate the fact that someone's just up there fucking doing it.
That's great.
Like I can find
that's
something to
good.
laugh up. And
that's a great baseline to have because it's more annoying that somebody is there to laugh, but they don't understand their participation as a audience member. You know, like shutting the hell up.
It is weird that people don't get that sometimes.
Yeah.
That never happens at a play.
No. For some reason, but for some reason when it feels, I guess because you're engaging with the audience,
right?
Like directly through a fourth wall, not even being there.
Right.
Some people feel like they should like interact with the comedian, and it's like, don't. You don't have to.
Last time I was up at the Improv, there was a dude seated. He was seating. Like his back was to my back because they kind of like squeeze you in there at the tables.
Yeah,
this was pre-COVID, but and he was just like I could feel like because my back was right up against his, and I could feel him like cross his arms and like sit there like this. I was like, why'd you come to a comedy club to have a bad time? Like, what the fuck are you doing here? It's such a great art form, and I really wanted to recommend this because I think this is, like I said, the
I'm
best
really happy
so
that
far this year.
Mulaney is back into it, and nothing's changed. He's so humble about what he's been through. He has such great humility, which I think Chris Rock lacked in his special as well.
It's a fair point.
He was very, very boisterous about his position in society now. Mm-hmm. And Mulaney is like, you know, nobody knew who I was at the rehabilitation clinic. He's like, I even got the newspaper about you being in rehab. I was like, hey, everybody, the newspaper's here.
I will say this, though, too. Is like he's... Obviously, everything is his own shortcoming. He fully admits to that. He's not one of those people that, you know, says that he was a victim when he was doing cocaine. He knew exactly what he was doing. And he tells horrible stories about what he was doing when he was on cocaine and lying to people and getting drugs from shady doctors and shit like that. But just the way he comes around it, like, yes, you're allowed to look at your own mistakes and shortcomings, and you don't have to... Not that I'm not trying to like victim blame or anything like that, but like what your fuck ups in the past, if they're your fault, they don't have to define you. You can look back and be like, yep.
You can build yourself off of it. Once it becomes your shield, it's something that people can't attack you for, and it's something that you shouldn't feel bad about.
Right. And the best way to do it is come out with a hilarious comedy special and just be like...
Observing it, getting ahead of everybody when they want to have the conversation about who you are now after rehabilitation, and just being like, yeah, it was a shitty time, but... You know, especially with comedians.
Pryor did the same thing. Pryor set himself on fire and then talked about it on stage.
Exactly.
He was like smoking crack and he caught himself on fire.
Yeah, that's a horrifying tale to hear. But you hear Richard Pryor say it. He lights a match and he's like, look, this is a joke now. And he's like, it's Richard Pryor rushing down the street while he just waves the match down. No, it's something with comedians where...
Really good ones.
The worst,
not everybody. Really good ones.
The worst moments of I was about to say our lives, in their lives, is they can only relay it in the form of comedy.
Right.
Having everybody laugh with you. It's a people pleaser thing, you know?
Oh yeah.
You don't want to bring the room down.
His opening sort of bit about him wanting attention.
Yeah.
And his bit about one of your grandparents dying.
Yeah.
It was one of the darkest bits he's ever put out.
That's probably the darkest bit, and I was like, he's much darker
but
as a person
has this
now.
fucking smile on his face the whole time. Yeah. It's like, you can kill one of the not important
grandparents. He's like, you can't kill your dad's dad
because he's gonna get all weird about it.
He's gonna get weird about it.
He had one line in there that I fucking loved. Shit, I wrote it down, but I'm afraid to touch my phone because it's gonna. When he was. He said, you're supposed to feel one way about it, but I felt two ways.
Yeah.
And him just like putting that in there where it's like, yes, you're supposed to feel
talking about
this.
the intervention.
Yeah, he's supposed to be, but he was also angry at the people. He was very grateful, but
he's like, they did save my life. He's like, but I'm so mad at them.
And but I just loved his whole thing where he's like, you're
sense.
supposed to feel this way.
Yeah.
And you get that you're supposed to feel that way. Doesn't mean you do.
Yeah.
And it's a weird like little trick that it's something, you talk about in therapy and stuff like that. It's like, yeah, if you're recognizing that you're not feeling the right way, that's good. And it's okay to feel the other way. Don't, act on it and not go with just that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it's a beautiful thing to explore, and this is his way of exploring.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Genius. And I love when he said 12 people is too many people to save your life.
And I thought he was gonna piss off like Seth Meyers and Fred Armisen and like everybody that helped him, because he talks about them and he gives them a bad light. Not like a bad light, but like, how annoyed he was with them.
He does a good Fred Armisen impression.
Yes, he does. And at the end, he does the special thanks for saving my life to all the people in his intervention.
Yeah.
And I was like, great. Like, he's doing really well.
Him being catty.
I wish him the best of luck.
With some of his friends being there on Zoom.
Yeah. He couldn't make the flight.
It's so fucking funny. But yeah. All right, cool. John Mulaney gets 3.
Easily a 3.
Watch Baby J on Netflix. Watch all of his stuff on Netflix.
Watch anything you can from John Mulaney, other than his sitcom.
Watch a appearance on Seth Meyers in November of 2020 when he's in sunglasses and a big coat doing a weird bit, and it's like, oh, this makes sense now. You were on a bunch of drugs.
Oh, man.
It's not a great... it's not a good look, but it's hilarious.
Oh, man.
All right, let's get into Jake's recommendation for me, which is his self-proclaimed favorite podcast.
My favorite podcast.
Dr. Gameshow, which has its own fandom wiki.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Fucking nerds love this show.
This goes way back. It used to be on WFMU.
Okay, yeah, tell me about that, because I don't know any of the history of the show or any of that shit. How you came across it.
I came across it because I like the comedians Joe Pera and Chris Gethard.
I love Chris Gethard, yeah.
Chris Gethard's amazing. Jo Firestone is one of his regulars that he would have on his Chris Gethard show.
Yes, I recognized her voice, and at first I was like, is this a Jenny Slate character?
Yeah, she sounds like Jenny Slate. She looks a little bit.
Marcel the Shell.
Yeah.
But then I looked her up and I was like, oh, I've seen her before.
Yeah.
She's on Chris Gethard.
It's exactly what happened to me when I saw her on a Chris Gethard episode.
Yeah. Oh, we should say, it's hosted by Jo Firestone and Manolo Moreno.
Yes.
Her co-host.
Yes. And I've learned through Chris Gethard show who Manolo was and who Jo Firestone was.
Yeah.
And I just saw one day that Joe had a podcast, and this was on Earwolf. It just started on Earwolf, and I listened to it, and it was just chaos, the entire time. Yeah, it's just Joe trying to get people to play these games where nobody's listening, and she's getting more and more frustrated, trying to rein everything in.
Yeah.
And it's when she sees a bit happening, she's following it until it's fucking dead.
Yeah.
She is so funny.
You
and
definitely
Manolo,
get the sense she's a great improviser. She's a big old bowl of yes and.
Yeah.
Like she'll go
she's
any
perfect
road.
at it.
But it stays clean, and it did say on the thing it's a family friendly podcast.
It's a family friendly podcast, which is great.
Must be fucking nice to have one of those.
I heard her say damn once.
Oh no.
They were playing a game where you had to be a cat. And
we should probably give a little context for what this show is.
Yeah.
So Jo Firestone and Manolo, they have listeners call in, and they have people write in and suggest a game to play, like a concept for a game show. I think the one I listened to 2 of them, the most recent 2 episodes.
Yeah.
Very wide ranging. One of them was games they played was called Slow Motion Animals, where you had to do an impression of a slow animal for Manolo to guess what animal you are. They had one, it was advice in other words or off-brand wisdom, whatever the hell they called it.
Yeah, off-brand.
Yeah.
I think it was off-brand wisdom.
And so it's just all listener generated. What'd you find?
I thought this battery was swelling, and I think it is.
Ooh.
And we might want to throw that away. Or, throw it at somebody you don't like.
Let's go with the away. Just not a big crime guy. But so they play games that are all listener generated.
Yeah.
And
you submit it, and
they play
just
3
go
games
through
in
the
episode.
Gmail. Yeah.
I listened to 2 episodes. Yeah. Why'd you recommend this to me? Just because it's your favorite podcast?
It's my favorite podcast.
Yeah.
And I wanted you to see that, this is the type of stuff that I really enjoy. It's, I would say, if you could, if you're still interested, go back to the beginning of the Max Fun era where they were actually in studio. After the pandemic, they started doing Skype and Zoom.
Is that how it was recorded? Because I just listened to it. It sounded, because you can kind of
hear that they're like,
Zoom.
Coming through Zoom. Yeah. And like that's how they do it now. But before the pandemic, they were in a studio and they would have comedian guests on to play with the callers. And I think that's a lot more fun.
Oh, hands down.
Yeah.
Like, it definitely sounds
fun. And if you can get your hands, the Earwolf saga is my favorite, but it's behind the paywall. You have to get Stitcher Premium.
That is a podcast network, right?
Yeah, Earwolf is and Maximum Fun is. They were on Earwolf. When they became a podcast, they were on Earwolf first, and then they were canceled. They were on WFMU first.
Cancel a podcast?
They were on WFMU first, and then they were canceled. And then they were on Earwolf, and then they were canceled again. And now they're like, I
didn't know they canceled
show
podcasts.
So good it was canceled twice.
I thought they just kind of let podcasts keep going until someone gets bored.
But if they're not getting any ads, they just let them go.
How long are we going to let this go?
As soon as you're out of money.
I mean, I bought all the shit. I don't think there's anything else I need to keep doing.
We're in the red.
Yeah. But, it's a great concept. And I could tell a little behind the scenes when we were talking about what we wanted to do this show about. Mm-hmm. We did kind of want to have kind of a game element to it.
Yeah.
We had a couple ideas up front that I'm really glad we didn't do because they were just super... What the fuck is...
Uh-oh.
I got distracted by Redfall. It's a pop-up ad for a vampire game.
Come on.
It looked...
Get your head in the game.
Someone was like being murdered on my screen, and I saw it on my peripheral, and I was just like, Jesus, man. It's a Redfall. We are not sponsored by Redfall. Their ads are distracting when I have the Dr. Game Show Wikia fandom up. But we wanted to do like a little game thing, and we still have the score, which is...
Yeah. Remnant of the
it's pointless
beginning. Yeah.
It's still there, though.
It's
I
fun.
like that I'm winning.
Yeah.
As long as I keep winning, the score will still be very important. Yeah. But I really like the setup, and they have a lot of good listener engagement just from the two. I am going to go back and listen to more.
Yeah.
But just from the two I had, I'm like, yeah, it's good.
That's great, because it was jarring to get used to after the pandemic.
I can see that,
the new way that they do it. But since Jo is so good at controlling the chaos that's going around, she's
like a school teacher.
She can handle it. Yeah, she's like one of the best school teachers you could ever have.
Yeah.
She'd have a caller in, and she'd be talking to them, and you just hear a voice in the background, and she starts going, "Who is that? Who is that? Who are you talking to?" And it's like they have games to play, but they constantly get distracted. Either Manolo, her co-host, wants to talk about something else.
Yeah.
My favorite thing is...
Or he just starts playing an instrument that he's holding.
I would love to be Manolo, because all he does is not pay attention and tries to keep up. Because...
And I know she's a comic. Is he a comic too? I didn't really look too much into him.
He's a comedian as well.
They're both...
He does cartoons and stuff.
Oh, nice. They're both definitely very... it's a taste of comedy that you have to be into.
Yes.
It's really that soft-spoken... I say nerdy not as a pejorative term, but as like,
it's more niche than
it's very
anything.
It's alt comedy. It's,
it's good for kids, I would say. It's very fun.
Yeah.
The games that they play can sometimes be really silly to play with your kids.
They are very silly.
Yeah.
I played a game with my kid when she was little that I learned from comedian Pete Holmes.
Oh, yeah?
A game called Smallest Smile. Where you look down, set your face, and then you go straight up, and you just do stone face, and then you try to make the smallest smile you can. It's adorable, and it's just a fun game to play. Yeah. So, this is definitely something. Mm-hmm. It's really rare that we can recommend something that you can watch with your kid.
Yeah.
On this show, but I think if you put it on in the car, if your kid has that sense of humor and doesn't need loud flashing noises, because it's not overly produced.
One of the recent ones was they had a 7-year-old on there that liked Roblox.
Oh, yeah. That was the 2 episodes ago. I listened to that one.
Manolo was like, how can we make this more Roblox for you?
Can I say Roblox sucks? I've played some Roblox. It's not fun.
It's clever, but it's really bad.
I know there's a whole community for it, and
Yeah.
you can make your own games and stuff like that. But I'm just like
Yeah.
this.
It's been exploited. It's pretty exploitative, which is what
Yeah.
makes me upset.
It's just the old man in me now. I'm just like I don't trust this. I
Yeah.
don't trust this for 1 minute. I don't like where it is. It looks like fake video game pop-up ads that show up on your phone. Mm-hmm. And you're like, download this tower defense
And it
game.
has
You're like, this doesn't look like
in
this
it.
at all.
Yeah. It's
That
got
weird
pop-ups
thing where
in
you
it, and
shoot the bullet and you don't want to shoot yourself, but it shoots the other guy, and you click that link, and it's just a whole bunch of spam.
Yeah.
Even if I want to play that shooty angle finding game.
I want to get the gold without it falling in the lava.
Right.
But
if
I
it falls
can't
in the
afford it.
lava, what are you going to do?
But then put the lava in the water, and the Minotaur comes and attacks me.
Yeah, and then
so I want to download this, and it turns out it's Sudoku.
Yeah. And then everyone in your phone book gets spam for the rest of the time. But, this show it's definitely cute. I'm glad you recommended it to me.
Yeah. Go back definitely to the beginning and check out some of these comedian.
Yeah, I'll definitely have to go back
guests.
and... I guess if it's all on Earwolf, is it behind a paywall?
No, not the beginning of Max Fun.
Okay.
But I think I can get access to the Earwolf ones, and if I can...
So you're going to leak Earwolf? You've just said that you're not going to...
No, I think...
The poor people at Earwolf.
I think they said if there's a way you can pay them, and they'll
really?
give you access to the Earwolf episodes of theirs. Or you can subscribe to Stitcher Premium. Maybe still.
I don't even know if we're on Stitcher.
We're on... I
Are
don't
we
know.
on Stitcher?
I think so. I think it's easy. I think it's
Probably.
just another app.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll click some buttons. I'll see if we're on Stitcher. I'll find out what
Don't
Earwolf's
listen
up
to us on Stitcher.
or do. I don't care. I was really... I got to say, I was listening to this, and I went back one more episode, and I was like, I bet Jake's on this episode.
I
Yeah.
was only participating in a live one once.
Really?
Yeah.
When was that?
It was like years ago.
What was that like? You have the episode remembered, I'm sure.
Well, the thing that I remember is I suggested the winning game
Oh, really?
because at the end of the episode you suggest a game that goes on to the next episode.
Right.
And the listeners hijack it quite often
Yes.
and just make up a game
I saw that
that goes
in the
into
one
it.
episode.
And my recommendation was Dr. Bookmark, and everybody's like, "Okay, we're voting for Dr. Bookmark," and I was like, "Yeah, I'm a part of this."
So how do they do? Like you just calling in on your phone? And
It was
you
on
just,
Facebook Live.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't call or
Oh.
anything. I was a part of the live audience that they have on Facebook Live.
Was that a pandemic thing?
No,
Oh,
this
so
was
that's
just
how they
talk
the show?
to you. Yeah,
Damn, I'll have to check that out.
because they have to, vet you and stuff and
Yeah.
see what you're interested in, so that they have stuff to talk about, and so you get it through there.
Sounds like a lot of work. That's why people get fired, because you hire other people to do stuff, and then you have to pay those people.
But you can also call like 1-800-Manolo-1. Back in the day was the number that you called.
That's outstanding. Yeah,
It's good stuff, man.
good stuff. This one, it's getting a 3 from me.
Wow.
It's getting a tentative 3.
Tentative.
Because I think
Yeah.
it's one of those things
Go
where
back.
I came down here
I'll
thinking
get
2,
you-
and then more and more I was just like,
I
you know,
know-
it's a lot better than I think I give it
I know
credit
exactly what I'm going to do.
for. What's that?
I'm going to find my favorite episode, which is an episode
I
with,
want the episode with you on it.
Jason Mantzoukas. That's
One of the
best
funniest people
episode.
to ever walk the planet.
It is such a good episode. There's a part where Joe goes, "Okay, we have somebody calling in all the way from Australia," and Jason Mantzoukas says, "Oh, can we not?" And then Joe goes, "Okay, I'm sorry, bye." And you just hear, "Oh no!" And it hangs apart.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, I'm feeling better about my 3.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll
It's a
get
good
you
one.
that episode. Oh yeah,
And I want to hear the one with you.
I'm not on it. I
You just
I was in the
typed
group
thing.
chat.
Oh,
Yeah, I was
so
in
you
the
haven't
chat.
called in to talk to
No,
them.
No. I would have that saved somewhere.
Oh,
whether
that's what
something
I
like
was.
that.
That's what I was thinking. You were saying like
No,
you were
no,
on the
no.
Facebook Live.
They
and
had a
you got in
chat.
there.
Yeah, they had a chat. on Facebook
So you were just
Live.
in a little side.
And they were like, "What's the next game we're gonna play?" And you vote in the chat.
Yeah.
And I said Dr. Bookmark, and they were like, "Okay."
Everyone's going.
And everybody's
with
like, "Okay, Dr. Bookmark
All right.
is the one."
that. I misunderstood you. Yeah, but definitely go check out Dr. Game Show
Hell
with
yeah.
Joe and Manolo.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna do that. So
Sweet.
also, while you're checking them out, check us out.
Mm-hmm.
Subscribe to us on YouTube and your podcast platform of choice. Leave a review, rate us, comment, send us your emails to upyouralleypod@gmail.com with your own recommendations. Let me check and see if we got any mail. That's a no.
Like,
Two
you did check?
Google security alerts.
security alerts.
I'll have to find out what that's about later. So let's get into what we're going to be getting into next week.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to go first, Jake.
Okay.
Because I re-listened to episodes, and I always put you first, and then I go last because I feel like my shit's more important, and it's something I got to talk about with other people. So I am recommending you a album, 2022 album. This is another in the thing of they've popped up on my Spotify and really dig them.
Ooh,
new
music.
band. I think last time I recommended was the group Telemann from
Yes.
England. This is another band from England.
Wow. You like comedians from Australia and music from England and nothing from America.
I like this
IPAs, India Pale
This
Ales.
Athletic Brewing Company Run Wild non-alcoholic IPA
There we
is
go.
fantastic. After that, nothing else in America. But it's a British indie rock group called Wet Leg.
Nope.
Never heard of Wet Leg?
No. Wet
so
Leg.
it's what are their names? Rian Teasdale and Hester Chambers. They're both from the Isle of Wight.
Wet Leg.
Yeah. So I had to look up. I'm like, because I was like, is this a dirty thing?
Yeah, this
like,
is a dirty thing.
their songs they're great. They're just a duo, but they have a full band behind them, and they're both singing along and everything. They have one album out, and it's just great. It's just Wet Leg. It's called Wet Leg. Mm-hmm. It's on Spotify. It's everywhere else. Wet Leg means people that have to come to the Isle of Wight by boat because they don't live there. So you could always tell when someone's not supposed to be there.
Because they have a wet leg.
They got a wet leg because you had to ride the boat there.
Oh, that's cute.
That's a little colloquial term.
You know what I learned?
What's that?
I was looking up Melancholy. Remember Melancholy? The
band Melancholy? Yeah.
Yeah. That
Tell you
album,
that you're close but no cigar?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That album that's on, Penny Bridge Pioneers?
Uh-huh.
Penny Bridge isn't about a bridge.
What is it?
That's like what their town in Stockholm translates to in English.
Wait, Stockholm, Sweden?
Yeah.
I didn't know Melancholy was from Sweden. That's a little bonus content for the podcast.
I think it was Sweden. Yeah.
Let's
But I
give
looked
that
it
a
up, and I was like, this is just about a bridge that you pay a penny to get across.
Really?
And like nobody's done it but these boys.
Fuck me, they're Swedish.
Yeah, right? And now it's like, no, Penny Bridge is a thing in Sweden.
I think I saw Melancholy at a Warped Tour once.
Yeah. Oh, hell
Founded
yeah.
by Nicholas Sarvik. Oh, there's a lot of weird stuff on top of these letters.
Call him Slick Nick.
Little C with the scoop on it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
S has a scoop. There's so many scoops and slashes.
Yeah, now you can see that they're from Sweden.
Fucking hey, yeah, they are.
Wow. I love Melancholy. That's a good band right there.
It is a good band. Yeah, so check out Wet Leg by
Wet Leg.
Yeah.
W-E-T.
L-E-G.
Okay.
Wet Leg.
I can do it.
All right, what do you got for me, Jacob? He says knowing what it is
Yeah.
already.
Well, you don't know what it is.
No, I don't.
You know
You've
the
given
name
me-
of it.
okay.
You can see the DVD of it right here.
I see it.
This is me pushing the boundaries of what
I'm
Taylor
so
will be capable of
uncomfortable with
withstanding.
this.
I'll give you the tagline. You ready for it?
Yes.
Part motorcycle, part karate expert, all robot. We are talking about Karate Robo Zabugar.
Can I? Okay. Say it again. Karate Robo Zabugar.
Zabugar. Yeah. This
Part-
is a movie that I have
Can
seen.
I say part motorcycle, part karate expert, all robot?
Yeah.
Neither of those are robots.
It's all robot.
But it's a karate expert is not a robot.
Exactly. It's all contained within one robot.
So it's not half and half.
No.
There are parts that are.
He is a motorcycle. He is a karate expert, but he is also a robot.
Is he a motorcycle expert or is he a motorcycle?
He's literally a motorcycle.
Fuck
they,
me,
they
Jake.
go into it. It's saying that he is a motorcycle that turns into a robot, not a robot that turns into a motorcycle. The other thing, he has a twin brother who is a human. The robot was a human when it was a baby, but it had male breast milk because his dad was a scientist, and it died. But he didn't want his son to die, so he did experiments on him, creating him into a robot. Yeah.
There's no way all those
Yeah.
words you just said are actually in this.
I've had this movie for years. This movie has been across the country. I've been showing it to friend groups everywhere.
All right, so is this
And I have yet to find somebody that tells me it is bad.
really?
Yes.
So is it streaming anywhere?
No. I had to buy it on Blu-ray. I bought it immediately on Blu-ray. I saw it on Netflix years and years and years ago.
Okay, so maybe if someone has a VPN or something, they could find it somewhere. But
I don't
as
know.
far as we know, in America, it's not
Yeah, I don't think it's streaming anywhere.
Let's
I haven't
check
checked
this.
in a while, but I have my copy.
So it's from 2011. So is this a parody or is this a serious?
It's a comedy.
It's a comedy. Okay.
Yeah.
Because
It's a zany comedy.
I will say this: the last time you tried something similar to this, when you did Psycho Gorman, the lost episode that Mr. Beast had deleted from the internet.
Yeah.
If you're playing along at home, that was kind of that, but a horror monster.
Yeah, gory. This one's not gory,
right? It's that same kind of thing, like kind of a spoof.
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely spoofy. Apparently, it was based on an actual show, like in the 70s.
Yeah,
but I haven't seen any remnants of that in real life. All I know is I saw it on Netflix and it caught my eye, and I watched it, and it immediately became one of my favorite movies.
Jesus,
it's
all right.
It's the type of zany where like you just have to go with it. When they start talking things, you just have to be like, okay, that's how it is, and I will be fine.
Nice. I gotta tell you, I will say out of all your recommendations, this is like it interests me more than most things. Like some things you recommend, I'm like, yeah, I'm probably gonna like that.
Yeah.
Or like, this is probably not.
This is out of your wheelhouse.
Sometimes you recommend things, I'm like, that's Twin Peaks. Twin Peaks sucks.
This is out of your wheelhouse. This is something that you don't really watch Japanese crazy stuff.
No, I don't.
And I do watch a lot of Japanese crazy stuff. Yes, you do. And this is the cream of the crop when it comes to Japanese crazy stuff.
Karate Robo
Zabogar. Yes.
Jesus Christ.
He's part of the secret police with his brother.
He's a secret policeman that turns into a motorcycle.
Yes.
But he's a robot.
Yes.
But he has a brother?
Yes.
That's like saying all hairdryers are brothers and sisters because they came out of the same factory.
His brother's a human.
You told me this and I already forgot because I blocked it out of my brain.
You will see. It makes perfect sense.
I can't wait for this episode.
So good.
You're going to listen to some awesome indie music with Wet Leg.
You're going to watch an amazing movie with Karate Robo Zabogar.
Robo Zabogar. Mm-hmm. All right. I'm looking forward to getting into that. So, like we said, be sure to follow us on Instagram at upyouralleypod. Send us an email to upyouralleypod@gmail.com. Follow us on YouTube. Comment, subscribe, do all that stuff. Tell some friends about the show. Thank you very much for listening. And Jake, thank you for coming over. I love you, brother.
I love you too, buddy.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye.